Starting today, we will be sharing the book. Excellent Advice for Living. Wisdom I Wish I'd Known Earlier. By technology thinker Kevin Kelly. This book was published in May 2023. Kelly was born in 1952 and is now over 70. When you're young, you may not be willing to listen to the elders, thinking their thoughts are outdated. However, with experience, you realize your past self was naive, and you grasp some truths, thinking, if only I knew these earlier. Certain truths in life are akin to physical laws, unchanging with the passage of time. And some people's thoughts don't become obsolete as they age. Kevin Kelly is undoubtedly one of them, as he delves into the realms of technology and the future. The founder of Wired magazine, author of bestsellers like Out of Control, What Technology Wants, and The Inevitable, he has inspired tech leaders worldwide, affectionately known as KK. Kelly embodies the spirit of the Silicon Valley hippies. Studying tech philosophies while being a man of action, he refers to himself as a maker, passionately engaging in various tools, and enjoying hands-on creation. If he visits your home and hears about a broken toilet, rest assured he'll help fix it. A techno-optimist, Kelly firmly believes that the present is better than the past, and the future will be better than the present. His confidence extends beyond technology to humanity. He asserts that humans have the capacity to solve future challenges. To discuss the future, one must thoroughly understand the past. Kelly not only delves deep into the history of technology, but also lived in the most underdeveloped regions of India and Afghanistan. This first-hand experience allows him a profound understanding of how people live under various economic and technological conditions. So, we are eager to hear his life experiences. On his 68th birthday, Kelly wrote down 68 pieces of life advice for his children. Some are his insights, some repeated rules he heard, and some wisdom from ancient times, all aligning with his own experiences. Sharing these pieces of advice with family and friends, he found them well received, prompting requests for more. Over the years, he continued this tradition, accumulating 450 pieces, forming this unique book. This book is quite special, entirely in the form of aphorisms. It consists of standalone statements without context, stories, explanations, or categorized chapters. Aphorisms from various domains are scattered randomly throughout the book. One moment it's about shaping character. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. The next one becomes a life hack. If you are looking for something in your house, and you finally find it, when you're done with it, don't put it back where you found it. Put it back where you first looked for it. No structure. Or perhaps, it is a form of structure, as you can keep it by your bedside, flipping through pages before bedtime for a daily dose of wisdom. Similar to reading Confucius's Analects. If I dared to write a book like this, editors would surely question, who do you think you are? He is KK, and I'm a humble columnist. So, I'll categorize these aphorisms, combine Kelly's explanations from various interviews, add my own understanding, and provide some commentary. Kelly's aphorisms can be divided into 5 categories. 1. Personal growth. 2. How to work. 3. Relationships with others. 4. Artistic discovery and expression. 5. Life hacks. This part, let's talk about personal growth. In essence, Kelly believes that life is fundamentally an explore, optimize problem. You should continuously explore who you want to become and strive to optimize in that chosen direction. It's a lifelong, dynamic process. You will complete your mission in life when you figure out what your mission in life is. Your purpose is to discover your purpose. This is not a paradox, this is the way. When young, we are often influenced by conformist thinking. To contrast, imagine life as a massive multiplayer online game. There are certain rules, such as excelling in academics may earn praise, hard work might bring rewards at the job, and committing crimes may lead to punishment. However, the game lacks a clear concept of winning or losing. Before creating an account, you might hear some strategies. Most people follow a route where they diligently study to enter a good college, work hard after graduation, listen to the boss, get married, buy a house, and perhaps buy another house if there's enough money. Then you realize this task could take 30 years, and by the time you're done, retirement might be near. At this point, some may feel the game isn't meaningful. So, you need to consider Kelly's advice. From his perspective, the strategy you mentioned is a survival roadmap for the mediocre, a failed life. Kelly's wife, with a typical Chinese insistence, demanded their children must go to college. Yet, Kelly quietly told his kids that, if they knew what they wanted to do, they could skip college. While his children eventually attended college, the essence was that, in the grand scheme of life, certain things, like going to college, aren't as crucial. What matters is that you must cultivate an allergy to average. And the standard for not being mediocre is to become yourself. Notice the emphasis on becoming yourself, not being yourself. Your current self might be quite mediocre. You need to develop it. Ideally, you contribute something unique and irreplaceable to the world. Something people associate with you. This leads to Kelly's favorite phrase. Don't be the best, be the only. For entrepreneurs, this translates into finding a unique ecological niche, not fearing competition. But this phrase is also a core life strategy. Is there something that feels effortless for you, but is challenging for others, akin to a game that you excel at? If so, you don't need a resume. This kind of life will bring you joy. People who only focus on exams, graduate from prestigious universities directly into large companies, often suffer from imposter syndrome, feeling undeserving of being in such significant roles. Kelly, however, states, but when you create things that only you with your unique talents and experience can do, then you are absolutely not an imposter. You are the ordained. It is your destiny to work on things that only you can do. Find that feeling. As Confucius said, at 50, I knew the mandate of heaven. Kelly suggests you might find it before you die. Consider what your destiny should be. Of course, being unique isn't enough. What you do should be worthwhile. The critical point is that, whether something is good or not must be your evaluation, not someone else's. You need a unique identity. In our column, we've repeatedly emphasized identity, rather than self-interest or cognition, as the determinant of a person's beliefs and actions. Identity is also the best way to develop good habits. Kelly seems to agree. He says, to cultivate a habit, switch your language from I can or can't do to I do or don't do. You shift the weight from a wavering choice to an unwavering identity. He says, don't focus on getting into shape. Focus on becoming the kind of person who never misses a workout. He says, the only productive way to answer what should I do now is to first tackle the question of who should I become? He also suggests, don't ever work for someone you don't want to become. If you look down on your boss, you should resign. Kelly believes your family should also have a sense of identity. You should establish a sense of family honor. To build strong children, reinforce their sense of belonging to a family by articulating exactly what is distinctive about your family. They should be able to say with pride, our family does X. X can be anything you're proud of. Exercising every day, reading, tipping generously, helping neighbors, cooking well, allowing video games. The reasons for your children to love the family. The core is deciding who you want to become. The sequence is knowing yourself requires exploration. Once you know who you want to be, pretend to be that person and, gradually become that person through actions. Kelly says, the big dirty secret is that, everyone, especially the famous, are just making it up as they go along. Exploring who you want to become is the most crucial thing you do for yourself. Algorithmically speaking, the younger you are, the more exploration you should undertake, and that's precisely what Kelly recommends. He says, your 20s are the perfect time to do a few things that are unusual, weird, bold, risky, unexplainable, crazy, and profitable, and look nothing like success. For the rest of your life, these experiences will serve as your muse. In his 20s, Kelly traveled to Asia. It was the 1970s, a life that was extremely impoverished, and even somewhat dangerous. Yet, he had no worries about his future. In reality, there wasn't much to worry about. If you don't go a little crazy when young, do you wait until you're married with children? Moreover, Kelly considers that experience a lifelong treasure. He also suggests, when you are young, spend at least 6 months to 1 year, living as cheaply as you can, owning as little as you possibly can, eating beans and rice in a tiny room or tent. That way any time you have to risk something in the future, you won't be afraid of the worst-case scenario. Reflecting on China's history when youth went to the countryside, did it contribute to their courage and daring actions post-reform? But you can't always be exploring. You must optimize in a specific direction to accumulate something. Kelly's advice is that, you should spend 1/3 of your time exploring, and 2/3 optimizing. What to optimize? Kelly suggests most young people's best choice is to master something. He says, a worthy goal for a year is to learn enough about a subject so that, you can't believe how ignorant you were a year earlier. However, the reality is most people, no matter how much time they spend, don't master anything. Where do they fall short? They surely aren't spending too much time exploring and taking risks. Rather, they're doing mediocre and boring things, essentially being lazy. If you can attend classes, go to work, join the meetings you're supposed to, and listen to the reports you should, even if you're tired, not in the mood, or unmotivated, and still finish the work you're supposed to, success is within reach. Kelly says, keep showing up. 99% of success is just showing up. In fact, most success is just persistence. Everyone can find some inspiration from these suggestions, but Kelly's advice isn't for everyone. There's no idyllic peaceful life here. The values aren't about stability. Kelly's presumed audience is those who want to change the world. As mentioned earlier, you must detest mediocrity intensely. Kelly says, your passion should fit you exactly, but your purpose in life should exceed you. You should work for something much larger than yourself. These are pieces of advice written by a pragmatist for pragmatists. Ultimately, Kelly says, your behavior, not your opinions, will change the world. This concludes the entire content of this section. Next part, we'll discuss how to work.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.